Good morning, students. Today we will discuss about the plastids. As do we know, green plants they are able to photosynthesize due to the presence of special pigments which are called as plastids, as well as do certain other members. They also possess these special cellular structures which helps to perform the function of photosynthesis. So, plastids they are semi-autonomous organelles which have double membrane envelope, and plastids have their own genetic material which is DNA. So just do like they are having their own DNA as do the mitochondria. Also they have their own DNA. Do the plastids. They also show the similarity in that respect that they are having their own genetic material DNA, and they are so semi-autonomous organelles, and they are also double layered structure enveloped by double membrane. They are found in all plant cells and in euglenites. Due to their large size, they are easily seen under the microscope. They bear some specific pigments, thus imparting specific colors to the plants. Based on the types of pigments, can be classified into three categories: chloroplast, chromoplast, and leucoplast. The chloroplasts contain chlorophyll and carotenoid pigments, which are responsible for trapping the light energy essential for photosynthesis. So, the chloroplast they are having such type of chlorophyll pigments and certain carotenoid pigments which are helpful for trapping the solar radiation so that they are able to do the process of photosynthesis. In the chromoplast, fat soluble carotenoid pigments like carotene, xanthophylls, and others are present. So, this gives the part of the plant a yellow, orange, or red color. So, do we have discussed about these xanthophylls which were present in the Phaeophyceae, the group of the algae which are also called as brown algae, in which the xanthophyll pigment was present, and it was in the form of fucoxanthine, which was providing the brown color to the specific members of the group. The leucoplasts are the colorless plastids of varied shapes and sizes with stored nutrients. So the function of the leucoplast is to store the reserve food material in different forms. For example, the myeloplast they store carbohydrates in the form of starch, for example in the case of potato, rice, wheat, etc. Whereas the elaioplast they store the oils and fats. For example, in the case of endosperm of the castor seeds, etc. Whereas the aleuroplast they store the protein. For example, in the case of maize seed, in which the aileron layer, this is the aileron layer which is a proteinous layer which stores in the form of protein. Majority of the chloroplast of the green plants they are found in the mesophyll cells of the leaves. So, the majority of the chloroplast they are present within the leaves within their mesophyll cells. As do we may observe the section of a leaf showing the upper layer cuticle followed by the upper epidermis, then palisade mesophyll, spongy mesophyll, then lower epidermis and cuticle. So we may observe the structure, the transverse section of leaf of a dicot leaf and a monocot leaf. So these chloroplasts, they are present within the mesophyll cells of the leaves, in which they are able to perform the process of photosynthesis. So these chloroplasts, they are lens shaped or maybe oval or spherical or discoidal shape or maybe even ribbon like organelle having variable length, maybe ranging from 5 to 10 micrometer and width around about 2 to 4 micrometer. Their number varies from 1 per cell of the Chlamydomonas, which is a green alga, and it may be 20 to 40 per cell in the mesophyll. Like the mitochondria, the chloroplasts are also double membrane. So, like the mitochondria, the chloroplasts, they are also double membrane bound structure. So, as we may view the structure of the chloroplast, it is also double membraned cellular structure, and of the two membranes, the inner membrane of the chloroplast is relatively less permeable, and the space confined or limited by the inner membrane of the chloroplast is called as stroma. So the entire space confined within the inner membrane is called as stroma, and a number of organized flattened membranous sacs. So these we may observe a number of organized flattened membranous sacs are present here, which are called as thylakoids. And these thylakoids, they are present in the structure, and as the thylakoids we may observe they are present one above the other in a stack like the piles of a coin, just like we may put or arrange the coins one above the other. So these thylakoids, they are present in the stroma, and as just like the piles of coins, and the structure is called as grana. In singular, we call this unit as granum. So we may observe number of granum, and or the we also call them the granum as integranal thylakoids. In addition, there are flat membranous tubules. We may observe these flat membranous tubules, which helps to connect the thylakoids of the different grana. So these we may observe the stroma lamellae, which is connecting the granum of the different granum to each other, and the membrane of the thylakoids encloses a space called a lumen. So within the thylakoid, a membrane encloses the space which is having the cavity or the lumen, and the stroma of the chloroplast contains the specific enzymes which are required for the synthesis of carbohydrates and proteins. So it also contains small and double-stranded circular DNA molecules and ribosomes. So chlorophyll pigments, they are present in the thylakoids, and the ribosomes of the chloroplast, they are of 70S type, means they are smaller in size, and they are of 70S type. As do we know, they are 70S type, they are present in the prokaryotes, just do like, but in the case of cytoplasmic ribosomes, they are of 80S type. So in the case of ribosomes are concerned within the chloroplast, they are of 70S type, just to like to the prokaryotic ribosomes, not like the cytoplasmic ribosomes, which are of 80S subtype. Now we will discuss about the another cellular structure, which are ribosomes. As the ribosomes, they are the small subspherical granular organelles which are not bounded by any membrane. So ribosomes, they are first observed by George Palade in the year 1953 as the dense particles under the electron microscope. So hence they are also called as Palade particles. They are mainly composed of ribonucleic acid, which is RNA, and proteins, and are not surrounded by any membrane. If we go for the ribosome categories, the eukaryotic ribosomes, they are of 80S subtype, while the prokaryotic ribosomes are of 70S type. Each ribosome has two subunits, a larger unit and a smaller subunits. So as we may observe the structure of the ribosome shown here, it is made up of two units. One is the larger unit and the other one is the smaller subunit. By the combining of these two subunits, the ribosomes are formed. So, the two subunits of the 80S ribosomes are as according the bigger unit or the larger subunit is of 60S subtype and the smaller subunit is of 40S subtype, whereas that of the 70S ribosomes are made up of 50S subunits and 30S subunits. Here S, which is Swedberg unit, stands for the sedimentation coefficient, which is indirectly a measure of the density and size. Now we'll discuss about the cytoskeleton. The cytoskeleton, they are the network of interconnected proteinaceous filaments and tubules consisting of microtubules or maybe microfilaments and intermediate filaments present in the cytoplasm, extending from the nucleus to the plasma membrane. The cytoskeleton in a cell are involved in many functions such as mechanical support, motility, maintenance of the shape of the cell. So as do they means skeleton means they provide a role of the mechanical support to the cell, as well as due to having such type of fine structures, they also provides motility and also they helps in the proper maintenance of the shape of the cell. So we'll discuss the first one, which is cilia and flagella. Cilia, singular cilium, called as, and flagella, singular, it is called as flagellum. They are hair-like outgrowths of the cell membrane. Cilia are small structures which work like oars, causing the movement of either the cell or the surrounding fluid. So as we may can observe the presence of these fine hair-like structures upon the body surface of paramecium, which act like oars, which helps in the process of locomotion as well as the collection of the food for their survival. Whereas the flagella are concerned, they are comparatively larger, longer, and responsible for cell movement. The prokaryotic bacteria also possesses flagella, but these are structurally different from that of the eukaryotic flagella. So, we may observe the flagella, which are long, fine structure, which are helpful or responsible for the movement of the cell, as in the case of a bacterial cell. So, here we may can observe the electron microscopic view of the internal structure of the cilium or the flagellum, which shows that the cilium or the flagellum, they are covered with a plasma membrane and their core is called the axoneme. It possesses a number of microtubules which are running parallel to the long axis. The axoneme they are usually having 9 doublets. So we may count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we may go through that. The axoneme, they are usually having 9 doublets of radially arranged peripheral microtubules and a pair of centrally located microtubules. So such an arrangement of axonemal microtubules is referred to as 9 plus 2 array. The central tubules, they are connected to each other by bridges and is also enclosed by a central seat. So we may observe the central tubule, they are connected by bridges and they are enclosed by this particular specific central seat, and which is connected to one of the tubules of each peripheral doublets by radial spoke. So we may go through that. These are the radial spoke. 9 radial spokes are there, which are in turn connected to the central seat. So these radial spoke, they are 9 in number and they are connected to the central seat. So thus there are 9 radial spokes. The peripheral doublets are also interconnected by linkers. So these peripheral doublets, they are also connected through linkers, and both the cilium and the flagellum emerge from centroid-like structure called the basal bodies. Till so far here, thank you. Have a nice day.